sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We're already a few minutes into this. I missed part of my tirade, but I'm not quite done yet. And this comes about, guys, I'm here constantly because I'm studying things. I'm reading, Future-Proofing You. I'm reading Kicking Off Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. I want to say when you guys recommended this to me, I don't know if the person that did is still on here, but I'm reading that. I had a conversation yesterday, personally, with James Lawrence, with the Iron Cowboy. I've talked about a number of times. Guy that's done, he did 50-50-50. He did, which was 50 full distance Ironman triathlons in 50 states in 50 days, right? Then, when he got done with that, he said, that's it. That's the culmination. That's all I'm going to do. I'm done. I'm not going to do that stuff anymore. That was crazy. Now I'm just going to go out. I'm going to share. I'm going to teach. I'm going to speak. Well, he's now taught. He's gone out and he's spoken in 48 different countries, and he has, been all over the world, and he's done it with corporations, and he's done everything else. And then after a time, he kind of jokes, maybe he hit his head sometime last year, decided he was going to do 100 full distance triathlons in 100 days. Now, he didn't travel for that one. I guess he got lazy. He figured the 100 was enough. Day 4 of this 100 in 100, day 4, he had a stress fracture in his leg. Day 4. We're 13 days in now, and I know some people have kind of stepped back because, I'm a little bit sore. I was a little tired. I didn't, I worked late last night. I didn't get a chance. Day 4, he had a stress fracture in the middle of an Ironman triathlon, and he went, hey, it's only 96 more to go. Let's keep going. And he found a way to push himself through. Now, in doing this, over the course of the last, I've had a chance in some personal coaching that I'm doing. I've had a chance over the last couple of weeks to talk with one gentleman that had never done a marathon in his life. And he went out and did 2 of them back to back. And then he just participated in the Boston Marathon over the weekend. It was virtual over the weekend. You could participate for the first time ever virtually. I can't remember exactly how they set it up. But he had an injury. And so for the first few miles to warm up his body, he did it on crutches, and then he walked, and then he jogged because he was injured. And I've talked with that. And then I've talked with some people who've overcome some addictions and other, and I'm looking at things. And then I get on the phone last night with James Lawrence, and I'm talking to him, and he was just talking about that mental side of it and how, he's spent this time over the last couple of years talking with everybody. And what he's trying to do now is really help you guys understand, because I know some of you guys are going, I'm never going to run a triathlon, or I'm not going to do a marathon. And honestly, guys, it doesn't matter, because anything that you're trying to do has a mental component to it. And if you don't understand that, if you don't think that the mental fortitude to get through and overcome challenges is going to affect you in your business right now, then you're fooling yourself. Right. So he was talking about how he's worked with accountants and roofers and all of these other businesses. And if you can build on those little challenges, that one step at a time type of thing, the one extra push-up, the few extra steps, I know some of you guys are doing steps, and some of you guys are riding the bike, and some of you are hiking, and some of you are doing this, and some of you are doing that, and some of you are already lost some weight, and some of you are looking to do other things. Whatever that challenge is that you've got, it's that moment when you're tired and you go, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving myself forward. It's the time when you're sitting down in front of your computer and you're frustrated. It's finding a way to build on the successes and the accomplishments to begin to rewrite some of the things that you learned growing up. I've come to realize recently that, there's education. There's education. I talk about this a lot. I'm all for formal education in certain scenarios. I don't think it's as necessary in others. I know part of the reason that I believe that is because I never finished college myself. And I also know that part of, I have friends that are teachers, and teachers always complain, and there's not enough. I don't feel like they're compensated enough, but at the same time, that's the reality. And I wonder sometimes if and I've had to, throughout my career, constantly break through the next barrier when it comes to personal finance, right? Like you get to this point, and the first one, a decade or so ago was just get that 75K, and then it was that 100, and then it was the next, and then the next, and then the next. And I realized part of it may be just that little bit of inbred, or that thought that I've got in the back of my head where, hey, just teachers aren't really highly compensated. And I kind of feel like I'm a teacher and a coach now, and it's a little bit different. And that realization hit me not too long ago, and I was able to push through it. You've got somewhere in you've got different blueprints, different thoughts that you have that are limiting you, whether you believe it or not, right? If your relationships are constantly a struggle because you're focusing so much on work, maybe you had that thought that, well, you can't have both. You got to sacrifice one or the other. Maybe the same thing happens with your health, right? You start getting your health in order, and then, you subconsciously sabotage work because, well, I got to sacrifice a little bit of work. I can't put in the time or thought or whatever if I'm going to be extra healthy because it takes extra blah, blah, blah. Right now, you're going through what you're going through with this challenge, and you're thinking, well, that's good enough. As those are the things, the good enough, the biggest challenges that you're going to face in your life, I fully believe, aren't the moments when you think, I'm worthless. Although some people deal with that with depression and other things, because I've been there, right? But it's not really those. It's the moments when you say, I'm good enough. It's when you become complacent with getting by, with just being all right. And you need to stop it. And that's what the purpose of this challenge, that's what the purpose of these calls, that's the only reason I show up every day. Because I'm tired of complacency in my life, in your life. Each of you is endowed with certain powers and rights and privileges and potential if you're willing to work for it. It doesn't come about simply by waking up. Now's the time to decide that you're going to tap into that. So, yes, it absolutely comes from the extra few push-ups that you don't want to do. It totally comes from hitting, Curtis is going to go out and do 600,000 steps this month. So that requires a little over 20,000 a day. So it's that day where you're at 18 and you go, I'll make it up. It's for some of you guys that are doing, the one video a day. It's the extra miles on the bike. It's waking up early to read or to do whatever the challenges you've set for yourself. Greatness lies as you complete each of those small, minuscule tasks. One of the best quotes, this is attributed again to James Lawrence, to the Iron Cowboy. One of the best quotes I've ever heard is that the ability to deal with day-to-day monotony is an underrated superpower. You're giving yourself right now a certain amount of monotony in these challenges. You should be. It should be a challenging level of it. But the ability to deal with that consistently, day in and day out, is what makes the biggest difference between people that succeed at a high level and those that don't. It is what is going to make the biggest difference between whether you become more than what you currently are or whether you remain where you are. And the simplest question to help you answer that is, am I okay where I'm at? There's this overwhelming feeling in society today that, hey, you are okay just how you are. You are just fine the way that you are, guys. You're okay that way. And I heard something recently in the 60s, Catholic priests were kind of taught to, it was this humanistic form of, building relationships and acceptance. And in the world today, we have to accept everything. And it's made us soft. It's nonsense. Guys, yes, you're okay how you are, but are you okay being just okay?
No.
So take the step. Be better. Right? Are you okay growing up and your kids look at you and they go, yeah, mom's okay. Dad's all right. He's a good dad. Right? Or would you rather them say, there were times when they were busy, but man, when they were present, they were present. And I knew any project that dad was going to tackle, he was going to go all out. And, it's funny because he was always a good dad, but, he hit 50, 60, whatever. He hit this age and something just clicked. And man, it's exciting to see how he's taking it. It's great to see grandma going and doing X. It's great to see mom pushing here. Guys, go out, push yourselves more than you think you can. Promise there is some light, there's some joy, there's some happiness, there is a feeling of accomplishment on the other side of that. Yeah, Curtis, at times it's a razor's edge. You got to, there's this, you listen to your body, but really it's your heart and soul that is going to take you where you need to be. On that note, understand that you are built and you are formed in fire, so it doesn't matter how big the flames rise around you, you can always find a way to rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Get out and kick some ass, guys. I love you. I will talk with everybody tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Andrew. Take care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.